الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق وأعز المرسلين أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى جميع أنبياء الله والمرسلين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Another blessed day of Shahr Ramadan al-Mubarak, and I want to share with you some of the thoughts that I do hope you cooperate inshallah with me upon hearing this important message. Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, it's like going into an ocean. It's like traveling into an ocean where you are above the water and then you start fasting, you go into the water and you have the chance for 30 days to go deeper and deeper and deeper, or you could remain at the surface and you will miss all the wonders of the world by not going deeper. What I mean is very simple. If you were to examine the small little supplications that Al-Imam Ali alayhi salam teach us in the month of Ramadan, and it brought to my attention this small dua. It's about 2 lines. For every day, there are 30 du'as and 30 prayers. Every one is associated with every day of month of Ramadan. And the first day, Al-Imam is teaching us to wake up. وَأَيْقِظْنِ فِيهِ مِن نَوْمَةَ الْغَافِلِينَ or وَنَبِّهْنِ فِيهِ مِن نَوْمَةَ الْغَافِلِينَ. What does that mean? Yani, you are asking Allah in the beginning of the month to wake you up from the long nap that we were in and we were experiencing prior to the entrance of month of Shahr Ramadan, month of Ramadan. وَنَبِّهْنِ فِيهِ مِن نَوْمَةَ الْغَافِلِينَ. Yani, what does that mean? نَوْمَةَ الْغَافِلِينَ. Wake me up from the deep nap or the deep sleep that I am in. What does he mean by this small dua? Of course, there are 2 kinds of sleepings and there are 2 kinds of sleeps. One is when you close your eyes and your body sleeps. This is called the sleep of the body. Your eyes are closed and your body is at rest and you're sleeping. But in this particular portion of a dua, Al-Imam did not mean that only. It means that there are 2 kinds of sleep. One called the sleep of the body, and the other one, which is more dangerous, called the sleeping of the soul. So the soul will be unaware. Just like the body is unaware of anything when you are sleeping and when your eyes are closed, you are not aware of your surroundings, who came, who sat, who walked, who taught, what did they say, what was the speech was all about. You don't hear anything. The sleep of the soul in the month of Ramadan, it's a dangerous notion. And Al-Imam wants you and me to wake up from that sleep, to be awakened from the beginning of Shahr Ramadan, to let your soul be on alert. Just like you put an alarm to wake you up in a certain time, you are asking Allah to send you a spiritual alarm by waking up your soul and your mind and your spirit and your heart. Fasting in Shahr Ramadan not only should be by refraining from eating, because the purpose of fasting in Shahr Ramadan, it is not materialistic. It is not only for physical purposes. It is not only to lose weight. It is not only to go on a certain diet. No. When your soul is awake It means that you are asking Allah to make Him aware and make you conscious of Allah. Because Allah is with you. Allah is with you wherever you go. Allah is with you wherever you do. Allah is a witness on you. He's closer to you, closer than what you think. However, we might not be aware of Allah. We are in a state of sleep. We are not in a state of awareness towards Allah. So the relationship is not vice versa. It's not mutual. Allah is aware of you. Allah is watching you. But we are in a deep sleep and we don't connect with Allah from our part. Why? Because either our soul is sleeping or our mind is busy with this dunya and with our worldly projects or following our worldly desires. In that case and in that sense, the soul is sleeping. And that it's called ghafla. It's called ghafla, the heart in a state of napping. Because in Islam, in the spiritual terms, there are certain people, although that they move, they walk and they talk, but spiritually, metaphysically, they are dead. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa said, "An-nasu niyamun idha matu intabahu." A lot of people are in a state of sleep. When they die, they wake up. When the angel of death comes to them and they see the third dimension and they look into the real truth of the metaphysical facts, then they wake up. And then they will be aware. And they are on state of alert. And they cry and they try to plead their case. And they say, Ya Allah, keep me. Ya Allah, keep me alive. Ya Allah, extend my life. Ya Allah, give me a chance. I did not do this. I did not ask forgiveness from this person. I did not rectify this situation. I did not reform my act. I did not pay my homes. I did not do my this. They will wake up. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غَطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. We uncover the barrier from your vision and from your basira, and your vision and your basira is strong. Basira is the inner vision, the heart, the vision of the heart and the vision of the soul. So this wonderful dua that has high content in it is asking Allah to help you wake up. And since we are in the beginning of the first 9 days, we did not pass the 10 days yet, I am trying to bring to your attention this fact so we could all be awakened from this sleep of the soul and sleep of the mind and the sleep of the spirit, and be aware of God. And let's try to explore the journey, how to get closer to Allah from our part, by getting into some serious programs, by connecting with Allah, by taking advantage of the time. Why do we fast? What's the purpose of the fast? What's the objective from fasting? Yes, we refrain from eating and drinking and pursuing worldly pleasures and what so have you, but this is the physical fast. This is the materialistic fast. I don't understand it why some people, when they fast, they don't eat and they don't drink and they don't do worldly desires for like 12, 14, 15 hours, the length of the fast. And in the evening, when time to break our fast, they eat. They eat and they make up for what they have felt and for the hunger that they have felt. So they overeat. They eat a lot. They eat fruits, they eat vegetables, they eat meat, they eat soup, they eat sweets, they drink. That's not the purpose of the fast. That's not the purpose of the fasting, that you overeat yourself. And then you fill your belly excessively after al-iftar. And then you smoke and you drink a lot of fluids and you eat a lot of food, and a lot of people in Shahr Ramadan, their weight increases, not decreases. They gain weight. Why? Because when the time to break their fast, they don't have no control over their desire, and they unleash their desire to eat and eat and eat, and that defeats the purpose of fasting. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed fasting on you just like He decreed it to the nations before you, so you might achieve a state of taqwa, piety, so you could cross the distance and you get closer to Allah. Not the physical one, not the materialistic one, the spiritual one. The spiritual one. Because we have accumulated so much burden on our shoulder. We have created so many dark pages in our history, in the wrong behavior and the mistakes that we made, and the mistakes that we have accumulated, mistakes that we remember and mistakes that we do not remember, mistakes that we underestimate, and mistakes we don't even think, we don't evaluate, and we don't even regard. So in this particular month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are asking Him to wake us up spiritually, and set a program for you in order to cross that distance. And then it's true, you need to fast from eating or drinking. That's the beginning. That's the first step. The first step is you don't need to eat. You stop eating, you stop drinking. You don't have sex, the married couple, okay, in the daytime. But that is the minimum. That is the beginning. That's the first step in going into real spiritual fast, where your mind needs to fast, where your imagination needs to fast, where your desires need to fast, where your soul needs to fast, and in order to cross the distance to get closer to Allah. Set a program that you could do and start making this spiritual journey to get closer to Allah. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam, look what he said. Although he is Imam Ali, Sayyidul Muttaqeen, the master of the pious, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, min qillat al-zad wa bu'd al-sayr. To the little of support or the materials that we have prepared, and to the long distance that we need to cross. وَوَحْشَةُ الطَّرِيقِ. وَحْشَةُ الطَّرِيقِ is because the road to Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah and to the accountability of our acts, it is so long. It goes through several stations. قلة الزاد. قلة الزاد, lack of preparations, lack of supplies. And I give you a simple example. Supposedly, you want to travel on a long distance, and then there are no gas stations on the road. Supposedly, in the area that you want to leave, there are several gas stations, and the oil is available and at a cheap price. And then you want to go on that long journey, and on that long journey you're going to go through a deserted area where there is no gas stations. And noble and logical and common sense in a man, what does he do? He prepares himself. He prepares for his journey. He prepares his supplies. He will fill his tank to the fullest, and then he might take some more gallons of gasoline in order to ensure that his trip is safe and it will take him to the destination that he wants to go. And long distances, not that many people will make it unless they are well prepared. You see in the marathon, for example, in the marathon about maybe 10,000, 5,000, 7,000, 20,000 people start. From the starting point, many people. But when you observe the end of the distance, that long journey of the marathon, what do you see? Only the few will make it to the end. Only the few. A lot of people will fall on the road. A lot of people will not be able to make it. They did not prepare themselves. They did not train for it. And Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying to us, from the lack of the sustenance and the lack of supplies. Supplies in that sense, it is the good deeds. And it is the time that we spend with Allah and the supplication that we perform and the dua that we uttered sincerely. And if our balance spiritually is zero, how are we going to make it? فَاقِدُ الشَّيْء لَا يَعْطِي. You cannot give something that you do not have. So in this month, we need to wake up and we need not to waste time, and we need to spend time with Allah, and we need to refer to reading Al-Quran and to the Al-Istighfar and for Al-Tasbih and Al-Tahleel, and designate certain time with Allah. Train yourself to do certain amal consistently every day. Don't go for the long, you want to perform every night 1,000 rak'ah, or you want to seal the Quran by reading it once a day. No, don't do this. Just plan a plan that you could handle. Do a dua that you do it every single day that you could handle. Like for example, as-salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, minimum 100 times a day, for example. 1,000 times istighfar, 1,000 times al-basmala wal-hawqala, bismillah ar-rahman ar-rahim, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. Pick up 2 names, 3 names that would fit the state of your soul, and consistently and persistently repeats it with focus, with reflection. You ponder, you reflect, and you say the name. You do it every single day. Be consistent with Salatul Layl, the night prayer. These kind of things, when you are awake spiritually, then you are on the track and you are going the distance. So this little supplication that Al-Imam told us, Ya Allah, wake me up from the spiritual sleep. And then on the 29th of Shahr Ramadan, small little dua, you are asking Allah, grant me continuously the state of isma. Isma means immunity against al-haram. What does that mean? It means that you start from the first day, or any day from today, from tomorrow, by being awakened and being working diligently by performing your salat and your dua and your worship. You might reach on the 29th day where you might ask Allah to grant you immunity against al-haram. You reach what we call individual isma. Ma'sumun, individually, because of the amal, because of the journey that you took, because of the spiritual journey that you took. You did not commit any sin. You are always in connecting with Allah. You are avoiding everything He asks you to avoid. You do not do the don'ts that He asks you not to do, and you do the do's that He asks you that you do. Then you might reach, you will be awakened. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you continuously in that stage. And we need it. We definitely need it. Pick up a certain amal, pick up a certain dua, pick up a certain ritual, and continuously doing it, and stay with it. And control your desire, because fasting is to let your also vision fast, and to let your hearing fast, and to let your emotions fast, and to let your mind fast, and to let your thinking fast. So you don't think of any negative things, and you don't think ill of the others, and you don't utter the words of what we call fawahish, bad words, cussing, cursing, all that stuff. Stay on a level of spirituality where you feel you're improving. And by the time al-iftar comes, you prepare to eat and rejoice that Allah allowed you to eat so your body can rejoice, but do not do it excessively. Do not overdo it. Do not defeat the purpose of what? Defeat the purpose of fasting. Because when the tummy is full and there is no space or place to breathe, you will not reach the state of submission and you will not reach the state of tranquility with Allah. Because always the feeling of small hunger and the feeling of overfeeding yourself spiritually that will get you closer to Allah. And when you feel it and you feel the peace and you feel the tranquility, then your nafs and your soul will seek to go persistently and consistently on that journey to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we need that. Yawm al-Qiyamah, according to the hadith, there are 50 stations. We need to go through 50 stations. Between first station and the next one, the distance is 1,000 years. Is these years the years of this dunya, our own times, and al-akhirah times, in another dimension times? We do not know. So you need to take your supplies with you, and the best supply you can take, تزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى. Prepare your supply. Supply yourself for al-akhirah with what? With piety. And piety will be achieved by doing the fasting the proper way, the spiritual way and the physical way. Yes, according to al-fatawa of our maraja and according to jurisprudence of our maraja, yes, if you stop eating, you stop drinking, and you do not perform the worldly pleasures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about it in the Quran, yes, that's the physical fast. You have done your responsibility at its minimum level, but the purpose starts with that. The aim and the goal of fasting, that's the first step. But the later steps and the most noble steps and the highest steps is to get you closer to Allah, to be pious, to fear Allah, to observe your duty towards Him, to love Him, to get closer to Him. And that, if you want to achieve that, you need to wake up spiritually. And you need to resort to certain spiritual act that you repeated over and over and over again, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, inshallah, takes all the barriers that we have created, and then the relationship would be that He would be pleased with us and we would be pleased with Him. And if you observe the reading and a dua that al-Imma taught us, yes, there are certain deeds that we do that will create a barrier between us and Allah. And it will create a barrier between understanding the basic spiritual facts. And it will make our heart sleeps. And our soul goes into a state of deep sleep. And our mind goes into a total ignorance that we are not aware of God anymore. For this reason, in Dua Kumail, what do you say? Allahumma ghfir li al-dhunub allati tunzilu al-bala. Ya Allah, I seek forgiveness from the sinful act and the mistake that will bring severe tests and severe punishment. Allahumma ghfir li al-dhunub allati taqta'u al-raja. Ya Allah, forgive my sinful act, the one that will make me lose hope and lose connection with you. Allahumma ghfir li al-dhunub allati tughayyiru al-ni'am. Ya Allah, forgive those sinful acts for me, the one that changes your grandships and your blessings. One, اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم, and اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقم. Forgive for me the sins that will bring punishments and revenge, godly revenge. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. forgive me and forgive for me these sinful acts that will make my dua the prison of my sin, the prisoner of my sins. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't penetrate. It doesn't go up. Why? Why? Because I went too far in being away from you, and I went too far in doing what I'm not supposed to do. So in this month, Allah is giving us the opportunity to wake us up and to seek forgiveness and to plead our case with Him and to follow dua al-ad'iyah in Shahr Ramadan, ad'iyatun makhsusa. There are certain supplication specifically designed in Shahr Ramadan. You could see it in the books of supplication like Mafatih al-Jinan, Miftah al-Jannat, Diya al-Salihin. You've got Dua al-Sahar, the Dua of the Dawn, Dua Aba Hamza al-Thamali, Dua al-Iftitah lil-Imam al-Mahdi, Dua al-Mashlul, الأدعية الصحيفة السجادية, the supplication of Imam Zain al-Abidin in month of Ramadan, every night, small little supplication, medium one, long one, and we've got Dua al-Simat also, we've got Dua Kanz al-Harish. All these are available. This is the time to unleash our spiritual hunger and then to get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just like He wants us to do. So the first step we need to do is try to sleep early so you can get up early and perform Salatul Layl and do Salatul Fajr and do the suhoor, small little food that will get you going for the rest of the day. And then do not overwork yourself, and do not get mad and do not get upset and do not do the ghiba, no backbiting, no false accusation, no speaking about facts that we think it's fact but we have no evidence for stating it or for saying it. And remember, between truthfulness and falsehood, 4 fingers. Between what you hear and what you see, 4 fingers. And even you don't tell everything you see. And you don't say what you heard, because hearing is different than seeing. Difference between false and the truth. In that sense, stick to Al-Quran and read Al-Ayat with reflection, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can enlighten our heart. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the doors of His mercy for us in this month. And He promised to forgive our sins. And He promised to wash our bad deeds and to change it into good deeds. So when you fast, when it is time to break our fast, do not attack the food as if that the food is your enemy and overfill yourself until the stage of what we call it tukhma, until you become overloaded with food and all the steams that comes out of the food goes into the heart and the brain and causes us to go into deep spiritual sleep where we can no longer comprehend and we can no longer tolerate to be with Allah in a state of dua and a state of submission because of what we have done to our body. Take control. Eat 1/3 of food. The second third, 1/3 of your stomach for food, the second third for drink, the third leave it. And chew your food well. And say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, in every single type of food that you eat. And get out of the table while you're still having the desire to eat. We are people, we don't eat until we are full. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. We don't eat, and don't eat anything you do not desire, and eat only when you are hungry, and do not overfeed yourself. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, do not make your stomach a graveyard for the animals. And as far as the food, change the type of the food that you eat. Do not eat meat every single day. According to Al-Hadith, you could eat meat 3 days, not more than 3 days. There has to be a disconnection, at least for 1 day. Don't eat meat more than 3 days in a row. Do not stay without meat more than 40 days. And then eat vegetables, and then chew your food well, and say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim on everything you eat. And remember the purpose of fasting is that to elevate your soul, to become a true good mu'min, where Allah would love you and get you closer to Him and make you succeed the moment that we depart this world in the nicest, easiest, wonderful, most comfortable travel to reach our final destination with Al-Anbiya wal-Shuhada wal-Siddiqeen wal-Salihin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah accept your fast. May Allah give you the wisdom to fast the proper way. May Allah wake you up from the deep spiritual sleep. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you all your wishes and keep you safe. And don't forget me from your dua. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.